Good morning, my name is Jerry Frank and I'm from Asset Rover, and today I'm here with Tim Stolba from Primetime Home Inspections. Hi Tim, good morning.
Good morning.
So we're not sure that most investors or most people out there have a good understanding of what home inspectors do, and we thought you would be a great candidate to talk with us today. So tell us a little bit about your business and how long you've been in business.
I started in 2007, so it's about 8 years now. I got into home inspections because I've always been around remodeling growing up, and I've been pretty handy. I worked in building retail for a number of years, worked on my own houses, and I thought this would be a good opportunity for something, a good change that wouldn't be the same routine every day, and be able to help people out in their purchases and their biggest investment they're going to make.
All right, excellent. So tell me a little bit about the inspection process. Where does it come in the process and how long does it take and what do you get out of that?
Typically, it's after the people make their offer on the property. They put it contingent on the inspection, and then my inspections last at least 3 hours for actually inspecting the property if the home is less than 3,000 square feet. If it gets really close to 3,000 square feet or over, then I always add like another hour on the time. I always want the buyer to be with me for the end to kind of go over everything. I look at everything. I tell people from the fence line in. I don't get into sheds too much. I don't get into pools or hot tubs, stuff like that. But I will look for any like major safety concerns and bring those up if I see them when I'm there on those items.
And what comes out of the process at the very end?
People have a list of detailed things. I summarize the major mechanical, safety, or structural. A lot of times people look at those and request things from the seller to be remedied or reimbursement for future remedies.
And in your eyes, who should use an inspector and why?
I'd say everyone should use an inspector. I've been in houses that, they say that, my relative is, a contractor or this or that. And usually when they say that, it kind of opens my eyes even more to look for things, because those are the ones I usually see the most items on. Even a general contractor, doesn't have first-hand knowledge sometimes of every component and how it's put together. And I have a little bit of knowledge about all the components, and I'm always bringing up things even on new construction. I just had a brand new condo I did the other day with a lot of things that I'm pretty sure were never looked at by the city inspections.
Can you give an example of something that has been found that's kind of eye-opening for the person who's purchasing that property?
I had a house recently. The house was 3 years old, built by the contractor that lived there. They lived in there with their family, and I'm inspecting the house, and the smoke detectors were never wired for power. So they were.
Oh, wow.
And he told me that he was wondering why the batteries were always going dead so fast, and that was why. So
wow.
Never wired for power, and he lived in the house. And I've had other houses where the contractor lives there and has had hail damage, and they didn't even know that, and they're the ones that built the house.
But you're crawling in every crevice pretty much, right?
Yep. I can't crawl across a lot of these newer homes, their attics and everything like that, all the ceilings, but yep, I get in crawl spaces and all kinds of fun places that most people wouldn't venture to go to.
With Asset Rover, we are focused a lot on the new investors, and what kind of words of advice would you give to new investors who are getting started?
Know your market, know what you're getting into, have a list of everything that needs to be done or could need to be done. That's where the inspection process comes in. If you have a list for me, when I do the inspection, it's going to put kind of everything in perspective. If you consult all the contractors and, then I'd say add at least 10 or 15% to that price, so you're going to be in under budget at the end. I just did a flip house yesterday that I'm pretty sure they never had an inspector come through. Plus they thought they were the handyman themselves, and I had a 16-page summary of things that need to be properly repaired.
What are some of the unique services that you or your company can provide for real estate investors?
Unique for me would be that as hiring me as the inspector, I own rental properties myself. I flip houses on the side. So I just have a lot of first-hand experience, not just textbook knowledge. So that's one thing I think is the major player why an investor would hire me rather than some of these other inspectors that don't have any firsthand knowledge.
What are your thoughts about the corridor, Cedar Rapids area market right now for investing?
I think it's really good. I've say in '08 when everything started kind of crashing, my inspections have kept on going up and up every year. I've never seen a decline. As far as my rentals, I really have no problem filling them. It just depends, what you're going for in the market. But I don't think there's any issues here.
So if someone is interested in contacting you about using your services, how do they go about reaching you?
Online, primetimehomeinspection.com. You just search Tim Stolba, home inspector, it'll come up.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.